Choosing whether or not to have an abortion is a deeply personal decision. In the last few weeks, we asked to hear your stories. Now, here's the thing. We were not sure whether anyone would be willing to share something so sensitive with us, but it turns out we were overwhelmed by your responses. So first, we want to say thank you to all the people that trusted us with their stories. And tonight, with her permission, we want to share Suzanne's story with you.
I was around 16 when I found out I was pregnant. And the guy that I was with when I was 16 was abusive. I wasn't making good decisions then, and I sure as well could not make good decisions having a child. I started hurting myself physically because I knew I was pregnant, and I did not want to have this child. I actually had heard of other females jumping out of windows, sticking things up inside of them to where it would hurt them and they would miscarry. These were thoughts that were running through my mind at an age that this should not have even been an issue. Yes, I've made a mistake. I got with a boy that I thought I loved. And I am so thankful that I did not have this child.
Our deep gratitude to you, Suzanne, for sharing your story. Now, unfortunately, we are learning that what she described there is not at all uncommon. Some women do not have immediate access to abortion health care, or they simply can't afford it. And some women are denied abortions altogether. Now, in her 10-year research project called the Turnaway Study, Dr. Greene Foster uncovered the physical, emotional, and financial toll of being denied an abortion in America. And she joins us now. Dr. Foster, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you for having me.
So let's talk, first of all, about what makes this study special. Why was it a unique undertaking, and why did you undertake it in the first place?
So this is the only study in the United States to look at the consequences for women of receiving versus being denied a wanted abortion on their physical health, on their economic well-being, on their emotions, and on their life trajectory.
And for women who are looking at this and preparing to hear your perspective on it, I mean, let's talk for a moment about why women need an abortion in the first place. Across the sample that you looked at, why did women say they needed an abortion?
Yeah, the leading reason is feeling that they don't have the money to support a child, or for the more than half of women who already have children to support another child. But the reasons that your caller gave of Suzanne needing to not be with someone who was not a good partner, that's also an extremely common reason. And another is to take care of the children they already have.
And so let's talk about here the after effects. What impact did having a child versus having an abortion wind up having on women physically, emotionally, financially? But I also want to just sort of make clear, this is a study in which you essentially looked at one group that was able to have it, one group that was not. So you could compare their experiences over time. Am I right about that?
Both groups were very similar when we recruited them. And over time, those who received an abortion were much more likely to say that they had made the right decision. Over 95% say they made the right decision. Among women who were denied the abortion, we see much higher poverty. We see lower credit scores and more debt. We see worse physical health that lasts for years. And we see a lower aspiration set for the coming year. So they're less likely to achieve other life goals.
And we heard there from Suzanne that essentially she found herself evaluating this relationship with this partner, and that is part of why she is, in the end, grateful that she didn't have to go through with becoming a parent with that person. What is it, tell us what your research found about the connection between partners and the position that it can put a mother in when they are connected to someone who is abusive through pregnancy.
Yeah, so that's exactly what we found is that when people are denied an abortion, they're more likely to have ongoing contact with violent partners. Whereas women who get their abortions are able to disassociate themselves and break away. So there's an ongoing higher risk of violence from that man involved in the pregnancy when a woman is denied an abortion.
And tell me here about the impact on a woman of having a child. I think that the reputation of abortion, certainly from the people who oppose it as vocally as they do, is that it is dangerous to your health to go in and abort a pregnancy. What did your study find about the health effects of having an abortion versus having a child?
Yeah, there were very large physical health differences between those who received and those who were denied an abortion. Most people underestimate the risk of childbirth. It is much riskier to give birth, to continue pregnancy and give birth than to have an abortion. And in fact, some women died because they were unable to get an abortion. No women died because they got an abortion. So it's a stark difference, and it's a difference that lasts for years in terms of higher hypertension, higher chronic pain. There's a big physical health difference and a big economic difference over time.
So we're talking now about a moment in which a draft opinion out of the Supreme Court suggests a future in which we truly may not have a constitutional right to abortion in this country any longer. Tell me about a future for women based on the data you found in a country where it is not possible to get an abortion when you choose to have one.
So I think that when nearly half the states ban abortion, or over half the states ban abortion, some women will circumvent their state laws. They'll travel, they'll get pills online, or they'll cross borders to get pills. But the least advantaged will be most likely to carry the pregnancy to term. So that's women like Suzanne who are minors, very low income women, people who have disabilities, people who are already sick and in the hospital, people who are incarcerated. These people won't be able to just up and travel to another state. And those people will have the least resources to raise a child. And our country is nowhere near generous enough in supporting low income parents to be able to keep those children raised with health and security.
So much of the time we hear the debate over abortion cast as a moral issue, an ethical issue, and I'm wondering what for you it is like to see it cast in those terms after having conducted a 10-year study studying so many hundreds of women.
Yeah, I think there's a moral aspect that is neglected when people say it's a moral issue. There's, in addition to the bodily autonomy of the person who's pregnant, there's also the issue of the well-being of her children. So we see measurably that women's existing children fare worse, are less able to achieve developmental milestones than if their mom received an abortion. And we also see that women who are denied an abortion are less likely to have wanted children later. So it isn't necessarily pro-child to ban abortion. It means that women will have children when they're not prepared to do it, and less likely to have children later because those better circumstances don't arise.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.